This is the third and final battle between Iceni, Prussian prince, and HL, the Armenian king. The Prussian prince still commanding Lusitani, Armenian king still commanding Iceni. The Battle of Armavir. And it looks like the Prussian prince brings the same army he brought in the previous battle. He has 5 nobles, 3 veteran shields, 5 Scutari. But Armenian king changes things around. Prussian prince has the terrain advantage here. Armenian king ditches the slingers, presumably because of the forest. He brings his 5 veteran riders. He brings a massive front line of levy freemen. Chosen swords, heroics, chosen swords. No skirmishers on the field, plenty of levy freemen to eat charges. So this could be interesting. Levy freemen precursors will damage the Lusitani more than any other faction aside from the Adrusian kingdom. And what Armenian king needs to do essentially is to ensure that he manages to stop the charges of Lusitani, either by frontal cavalry charges, failing that, blocking with levy freemen and sending in heroic nobles as a second line. But doing that, he risks losing the cavalry fight and getting cavalry in his rear, which is going to be difficult for him. And what the Prussian prince needs to do with his army, he needs to take care of the meat shields, charge through them, or he can frontally cavalry charge, but against 2 lines of precursors, that's not the best idea. So the Prussian prince needs to deal with these levy freemen somehow, and then get good charges off on the chosen swords. So I think the Prussian prince has a slightly more difficult task ahead of him in this battle than Armenian king does, because Armenian king has the option to block charges with infantry, whereas the Prussian prince can only charge with his infantry. Now, getting a charge in with Scutari cavalry against levy freemen could be enough. If he manages to do that, the levy freemen botch their precursor throw like we saw in the previous battle, then things don't look too shabby for the Prussian prince. He still will have to rely on getting the better charges, and that puts him in a difficult position, because the only having no skirmishers, having superior infantry, the only way the Prussian prince wins this battle is if he gets better engagements, gets better charges. And by map alone, he has somewhat made sure that's going to happen by allowing him to charge downhill here against the Armenian king. But that by no means means that he has a certain victory, because he still needs to charge uninterrupted. The importance of charging uninterrupted as Lusitani cannot be overstated. And he's sort of moving in a half moon formation here, hollow center against Armenian. Armenian using a more standard triple line formation with meat shields in front and supporting infantry behind, which is what you want to do against Lusitani. You want to have your meat shields. But doing this, having sort of the formation that the Prussian prince has, means that the Prussian prince is going to be able to surround Armenian king, because Armenian king's infantry is concentrated towards his center here, and that could mean that the Prussian prince could be able to deal with the flanking levy freemen. And here we have veteran riders about to get hit by precursors, but the Prussian prince decides against it. The veteran riders hit charge speed. They're going to hit the Lusitani nobles. Very bad for the Prussian prince, losing Lusitani nobles here to a double cavalry charge. But it wasn't too bad. It was in the forest. The levy freemen get hit by the veteran shields. The Scutari cavalry come chasing after the veteran riders. The veteran riders charge into the veteran shields. Over here as well, we have the levy freemen got isolated here by the Lusitani nobles. Veteran riders come in against the Lusitani nobles. They are going to do some damage on the charge, but not that bad. But the units of the Prussian prince already winded, so in extended melee this could be a major problem for the Prussian prince. He manages to get good charges here. Chosen swords already already losing decisively, and the Levy Freemen are basically off the field in most of the engagements. Nice charge here with Scutari Cavalry against the Chosen Sword Band. The Lusitani nobles hardly took any damage or any casualties from the cavalry charge, and once again the general of Armenian King being surrounded here, the Levy Freemen just being removed. And if the Prussian prince is able to support this fight here, Armenian King is in dire straits. Doing a good job here in surrounding the individual units of Armenian King is the Prussian prince, and the Levy Freemen, they were just caught out of position, caught off guard. We see two units of Levy Freemen here being chased down by Lusitani nobles, while the cavalry of Armenian King struggles to find anywhere to engage. The Scutari cavalry doing a good job against the veteran riders, and moving up into the forest here was a smart move by the Prussian prince, because that meant that the cavalry charge of Armenian King came through the forest uphill, and that's the worst type of terrain to take your cavalry engagements in. Now, all I see are routing and wavering units from Armenian King, but they are mainly Levy Freemen aside from this Chosen Sword Band. The Prussian prince has won the flanks. He's going to be able to swing in here, support the fight, hopefully for him, before the veteran shield warriors break. The heroic nobles are now doing a good job against the Lusitani nobles. Veteran riders should lose to Scutari cavalry here, and this flank is being wrapped up by the Prussian prince, unless these Scutari cavalry break, and they will break the Chosen Swords. Another charge by the veteran riders, not getting impressive kills on the charge there against the Lusitani nobles. Both generals are damaged, but the Lusitani nobles of the Prussian prince are actually more damaged than the general of Armenian King. So on these flanks, Chosen Swords and Heroics fighting up against Lusitani nobles. Chosen Sword winning slightly against veteran shields and Scutari cavalry here. And now Lusitani noble breaking, freeing up the general. But these veteran shield warriors, if they get the charge here with their 30 charge bonus, they will damage the heroic nobles significantly. The heroic nobles manage to get the charge themselves, which is very important. So the heroic nobles are winning on the charge there. The Prussian prince will win this engagement. And this is a very chaotic battle. The Prussian prince has cavalry left, but he's leaving it engaged for far too long here. That cavalry could have been very useful in rear charging these different engagements. He's going to start doing that now, send the Scutari cavalry in to rear charge the Chosen Swords. Looks like the Chosen Swords just turned around to charge the charging Scutari cavalry. Scutari cavalry will break this Chosen Sword Band. Yep. This unit is being broken. The Prussian prince has a lot of free units left now. He managed to save his general, very important. The Chosen Swords losing decisively. The Prussian prince has cavalry left. Armenian King does not have cavalry left. Chosen Swords chasing after the cavalry. Winning in the center here is the Prussian prince. But he has quite a lot left here. Getting another charge into the trees with his Scutari cavalry. Not getting a lot of kills in this type of terrain. But the army of the Armenian King is concentrated now in a small blob in the center. These are his important units. The Chosen Swords, one charge away from getting killed. We should see the Lusitani nobles, even though they are exhausted. They should do well against Chosen Swords on the charge, and yep, they will wrap up that combat. Winning decisively even though they are exhausted against the Chosen Swords. Over here as well, the Lusitani nobles will murder the Levy Freemen, I'm sad to say. And the Prussian prince has cavalry units left for rear charging. So I don't see any way that Armenian King can turn this around at this point. It looked bad for the Prussian prince at one point, but at this point, since he has cavalry left, I mean, he just needs to grind down these last remaining units, and he has basically won this. So smart faction pick by the Prussian prince. I also think he made a smart move in bringing all of those Lusitani nobles. We'll see on the kills, but I think Lusitani nobles instead of veteran shields against Iceni, it makes sense. So costly victory there by the for the Prussian prince, and yeah, 193, 263, 209, 190. The general of Armenian king did well, but these other units just don't perform, and the Scutari cavalry of the Prussian prince did a much better job. I mean, the levy freemen here get more kills than the cavalry, than the veteran riders, so a testament. Levy freemen are better than heavy cavalry. Very nicely done by the Prussian prince. He got beat in the first battle, then he turns around, changes his army, and manages to beat Armenian king twice in a row, which is no small feat in itself. Strength and honor.